We need to talk about something big that's happening right now. It's a crisis, but it's not the kind you see on the breaking news. It's unfolding in the quiet. A silent pressure building up all across the globe.
And this quote right here, it just nails it. It's a weird paradox, isn't it? There's more money in the world than ever before. But at the same time, countries, companies, and people are carrying more debt than at any point in history. We're just drowning in it.
But here's the really strange part. For years, this huge mountain of debt, it kind of didn't seem to matter. So what changed?
And why isn't this a huge story dominating the headlines? Well, not yet anyway. Think of it more like a slow-burning fuse, quietly getting shorter right under our noses.
Okay, so to really understand what's going on, we have to start with the sheer scale of this problem. This isn't just one country's issue. It's a financial web that connects every single one of us.
And I mean, this is happening everywhere. We're seeing record-breaking levels of debt in the United States, all across Europe, in China, and it's rippling through basically every emerging economy. It is a truly global problem.
Now pay attention, because this is the crucial point. It's easy to get freaked out by the numbers. We're talking trillions and trillions of dollars. But here's the twist. The actual amount of debt isn't the real problem.
So if it's not the amount, then what is it? What's the real danger we should be worried about?
The real danger is the cost. See, for over a decade, borrowing money was cheap, incredibly cheap. And now, all of a sudden, it's become very, very expensive. And that changes everything.
Just think about it like this. For years, interest rates were near zero. Borrowing was easy, almost free. But then, to fight off inflation, central banks had to slam on the brakes, and rates skyrocketed. The era of cheap money is over.
And here is the trap. All of that old, cheap debt, it has an expiration date. When that debt comes due, governments have to refinance it. It's basically like paying off one credit card with a new one. The problem is, the new credit card has a terrifyingly high interest rate. And that's where the pain starts.
And that initial pain, it doesn't just go away. It spirals into something much worse. This isn't a one-time hit. It's a dangerous feedback loop, a vicious cycle that is incredibly hard to break out of.
So here's how that debt loop works. First, as interest costs shoot up, governments have to spend more of their money just paying interest. That leaves less money for everything people actually need, schools, roads, healthcare. So, to fill that gap, they have to borrow more. And that new debt comes with those same high interest rates, which means the next year's interest payment is even bigger. The cycle just gets tighter.
So the thing to remember is this isn't a temporary problem. It's a relentless, constant squeeze on public finances, and it's happening all over the world.
Now, when a global squeeze like this happens, it doesn't hit everyone equally. So who's standing on the shakiest ground? Who is most at risk?
The first wave of this storm, it's crashing down on developing countries. They are the most exposed, and they have the fewest defenses.
So why are they so vulnerable? Well, they have fewer financial reserves, no cushion to absorb the shock. Their local currencies are often less stable, and they were already paying higher interest rates to begin with, even before this all started.
But don't make the mistake of thinking this is only a problem for smaller nations. Even the world's biggest, most developed economies are feeling this pressure.
For these larger economies, the danger isn't some sudden, dramatic collapse. It's more like trying to run a race while dragging an anchor. This debt creates a slow, constant drag on the economy. It just makes it harder to grow, harder to innovate, harder to create opportunities.
Okay, so we've talked about governments and global economics. But what does any of this actually have to do with you? How does this silent crisis reach into your wallet?
Here's a simple rule of economics. A government's debt problems never stay with the government. Eventually, that pressure has to go somewhere, and it always leaks out into the real economy, to us.
And here's how that pressure shows up in your life. It can mean higher inflation. It can mean rising taxes to cover those interest payments. It definitely means higher interest rates on your mortgage or your credit cards. And it means slower growth for the whole economy, which translates to fewer jobs and opportunities for everyone.
So to wrap this up, think about two types of crises. We're all conditioned to look for the explosion, a sudden, loud, obvious market crash. But this crisis, it's not an explosion. It's a slow, quiet suffocation.
And that right there is the key takeaway. The world is not facing a debt explosion. It is facing a debt suffocation.
The danger isn't the bang, it's the slow, silent squeeze.
And why is that so important? Because an explosion forces everyone to react. You can't ignore it. But a slow, quiet pressure? Well, that's much easier to get used to, and much, much harder to escape.